Hey YouTube, I want to address the issue of the 8 Navy sailors that were on the USS Ronald Reagan, 600 meters offshore from Fukushima Daiichi when the reactors exploded. As you may have heard, because it's being widely reported in the mainstream news right now, these soldiers are experiencing some significant health problems and are suing the Japanese government for not being forthcoming about the extent of the exposure and the extent of the disaster. However, suing Japan should be just the start. And there's two things I want to do with this video. Number one, I want to show you how the Navy did not follow proper procedures and protocol based on their own guidelines for protecting these sailors. And number two, why this lawsuit needs to be extended or supplemented with a secondary clause that the U.S. government and the U.S. Navy, including the ship's doctor and the people in charge of that ship, should be included in this lawsuit as well. First of all, though, I want you to watch this video. I had a hard time locating this. I want to thank whoever posted it on GLP. I was horrified when I first saw this, knowing that the MOX reactor had blown up, to see the sailors scrubbing the deck with what looks like dish soap without any type of hazmat protection. And this is just the first of two videos that I'm going to be showing you. Both of them clearly demonstrate that the Navy was not following proper procedure or protocol.
Right now, every piece of hardware, every aircraft, and every piece of machinery used to move that aircraft is on the front of the USS Ronald Reagan, as is, well, you can see a lot of the crew hands. And you're wondering maybe, why are they all sitting around? Well, we'll show you. Look what's going on back over here. Water. Lots and lots of water just being sprayed all over the deck right now in what is probably the biggest cleanup effort you're ever likely to see at sea. Now, earlier today, as part of this effort, up at the bow, it got even more incredible to watch. As the crews went to work with the foam, with the brushes, there was music going. The idea here, though, is all about safety.
What we're doing right now is just like decontaminating the ship.
Why all of this remarkable effort? Well, you may remember back on the 13th, this aircraft carrier and some of its helicopters passed through the radioactive plume from that damaged nuclear plant, the Fukushima Daiichi plant. As a result of that, there was some limited exposure to the crew and some of the aircraft, and possibly the ship. So, this is all designed to clean it, scrub it down, use brushes, use foam, clear every possible surface, then check it with special machines such as Geiger counters, while keeping the crew in protective suits. It's extreme measures, but it's always designed to keep the crew safe and to keep the ship operational. I guess we'll get back to work here. Got a lot to do.
Now here's a few images of proper decontamination techniques. This is a decontamination facility set up at Fukushima. These workers are all wearing NBC masks, proper hazmat gear, face protection, gloves. These are workers that are decontaminating outside of Fukushima in some of the surrounding cities where there is loads of radioactive fallout. But you see how they're geared up, and you see how our sailors were geared up. So what does the military protocol recommend? Well, let's take a look at it real quick. From the Navy Installation Emergency Management Program Manual, Appendix K, Decontamination. Now what this appendix does is it provides guidance and resource requirements of how to set up a decontamination facility in the event of a nuclear attack or exposure to radionuclides. Now this is based on hazmat, fire safety, and a number of other organizations. I'll put a link to this PDF underneath. It's going to tell you there's no valid security certificate, but that's okay. It's because it's a military paper. Here is a figure of what an on-scene casualty and team decontamination corridor should look like. Okay, this would be the point of exposure in red. This is the direction of casualty travel, or people that were exposed. Males go one way, females go the other way. The first thing they do is they strip down. The second thing they do is they undergo high pressure showering. The third thing they do is they are measured for radioactive contamination that may be still attached to them. Then they're triaged in a nursing facility of whether or not they need emergency medical care, and then they are sent to the appropriate medical facility. It's all very well laid out because these people have all this contamination on themselves, on their hair, on their clothes, on their faces, on their hands, on their shoes. And what you're going to see is the way the decontamination setup was run on the USS Ronald Reagan after the soldiers were exposed. And according to the person that uploaded this video to YouTube, this same scene was repeated over and over again as sailors were sent out to decontaminate the ship. Now, I'm not going to edit the beginning of this, although there is some graphic discussion. I want to show the video in its entirety, mostly for reasons of preserving the video in its entirety, because I'm afraid this is probably going to be taken off YouTube at some point. I know a couple other people who have downloaded it already.
We're never going to go up there.
I'm recording it right now. This is what happens when you're exposed to massive amounts of radiation. And this is what happens when your dick is exposed to massive amounts of radiation.
Suck it off.
I'm like all zoomed in on his face.
Go down. Keep it below the table. Look it below the table.
Whole video camera. I know.
Dude, I gotta get this video from you.
Shoot, this thing's got 35 times zoom. I'm zooming right up on him.
Yo, I got everything I need. Everything I need. Where the fuck is my jacket?
Dude, he does not look happy for real. Come look at his face. Come look at his face. I'm not kidding. He does not look fucking happy at all. That motherfucker is upset. Look at, he looks like he's about to die.
That's one of them. I don't know if
Look at his face, for real. Look at his face. Like, you can really see his face.
Oh shit, oh shit. That's my jacket.
That is the jacket that GJ just rolled around on the flight deck with. It says Dove all over it. Because it's not his.
Wait, here goes my photo too.
This is crazy.
Here's my photo. Oh shit, yours?
Does it say Dove on it?
Does it say Booker? I'm just asking.
Did you have a camo one?
Yeah.
He was wearing
Me and
he was wearing Doves. He wasn't even wearing his own.
you and you. This is shit. They could have confiscated you. I gotta record this.
And it's gone.
This is kind of crazy.
Dude.
Like, when in your life will you ever get to do this shit again? Besides the nuclear holocaust? Yeah.
Look, we die and then we taking videos of it.
Hey, if we die, we're having fun doing it, goddammit.
Like in families and shit.
all except for Hooker is not having fun, I tell you that. His face is not happy. He looks so serious right now. The dude looks serious at him. He looks like he's about to die.
Hey, what's the name on that? What's the name on that coat?
Can we get the name on the coat so we'll know? That's it's either mine or Hooker's.
Whose jacket is this? What does it say?
It has a name on it. Oh shit! Does it say Booker?
Yeah. It's you.
It's mine. The flow coat. Yo, they gonna take my fat water jacket. Yes, that was mine.
They're taking your float coat? Hey, what float coat is that?
It's like that. Just,
Wait, was that good or bad?
working.
One guy said it was good, one guy said it was bad.
I don't know.
I think they got confused.
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
White one that
It's theirs. It's confiscated. Look at them. They're just taping that
They've
shit
been
up.
getting pants. How nice.
What was mine?
Hey, where the camera right?
Okay.
Now, as you can see from the layout of how the protocol should have been performed or implemented and what actually happened, the Navy was completely negligent in protecting these soldiers. There are piles of contaminated clothing throughout the room. Nobody's wearing masks. Nobody at this point has had any type of showering or decontamination to their person. They're all wearing shoes, they're walking around, they're flinging radioactive clothing around the room. It's disgusting. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare scenario, and knowing how bad their exposure was from the initial plume, it's unlikely really that they would have been benefited from following any decontamination procedure because they've already breathed the stuff in massive quantities. It's in the ship's ventilation systems. It's everywhere. But the fact that they put these guys out there and had them swabbing the deck without any kind of protection, and they didn't lock down that room the way they should have for any type of nuclear, biological, or chemical attack, is just complete and utter negligence. And I wish these Navy sailors well. I hope that many more join in this lawsuit, because if they're not exhibiting symptoms at this point, they probably will, as many of us across North America have already. And in case you're wondering what's going on with those soldiers now, U.S. sailors having traits associated with radiation poisoning after Japan operation, bleeding from the rectum, baby with birth defects, cancer, and thyroid problems. I'll put a link to this article below. We all need to share love, caring, and concern for our fellow man. Your government does not care about you, even if you're in the military. Stay safe, everyone.